Salamu alaikum watazamaji. Leo ni tarehe 13 ya mwezi wa pili 2025 na wakaribisheni jamanini kwenye show yetu mwafaka ya Kenya News Alert, ambapo tunasema that Kenya News Alert is the heart of politics. Kenya News Alert ndo roho ya politics. Sawa? Politics. So I know we say that we're going to be here saa saba, lakini kumekuwa na live ya Fenad Waititu na bibi yake wameweza kushtakiwa kwa mashtaka ya milioni 588. That it's a whole corruption. That is like half way. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money, and they're in court right now. Inaendelea kidogo pale. Mimi naona wakismile. I don't know why they are smiling. I don't know why. But apart from that, we're gonna be doing that later. Apart from that, let us talk about why we are here. We are here because there's Azimio people yesterday. They said that let my co-host introduce themselves.
Anyway, mbona unatuacha hanging?
Why
Mbona unatuacha hanging?
Why are you looking at me smiling?
No,
mbona
smiling? Why you leaving us hanging? This is Plains and Felix. This is Plains and Felix. Leo Zulfa alikuwa anataka kutufukuza kwa show, but amekuja kugundua like producer can't allow those things to happen. Thank you so much for joining us. Hebu tuone vile maybe Azimio leaders walijaribu kuhepa kutoka kwa assembly wakiwa wamekasirika. Yeah. Karibu my sister.
Thank you so much.
Umepotelea wapi?
Niko tu. Nilikuwa tu na niko tu.
Iko tu, ulikuwa tu.
Hivyo, yani sina mambo. Nimefurahia jumuika na nyinyi tena.
Thank you so much.
I'm glad to be here again.
Thank you so much. This is Kenya News Alert TV. Yes. Zulfa, how was your break?
My break was I'm going to say exhilarating. Umenipeleka out after kuniuza for 50k. Mimi na antoka tupeleka to buy a lunch, so we are grateful. We are grateful for you for taking us out. Leo ametuba na area you people. Leo amekubali jasema usually says chukweni pikipiki muende mbele yangu na come. This amekuwa like pandeni tuende. So we are grateful for that. Akifanya vizuri tumthank. Yes?
That's true.
So my dear sister, you're welcome. We missed you so much. Sawa?
Yeah.
And anytime that you can come, tafadhali kuja. So let us introduce the thing now. Sawa? The thing is, I'm gonna say, yesterday Bwana Wetangula aliweza kusema ya kwamba Kenya Kwanza is the majority, and that didn't please watu kama Milia Dhiambo, Farouk and all those people. So they stormed out of the house. Sawa? When they stormed out, they went and they had a press conference, and they were like they're gonna join Wamnyoro coalition. And walivyosema ya kwamba they will join the Wamnyoro coalition, a lot happened. Yes?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna ask Bona Felix, what do you think that is a wise decision? And this morning, I'm going to say that this morning, I received information that were made to a state house, and they might walk out of state house with 10 million each.
Akina nani wakiitwa state house?
The Azimio people. Wameitwa this
wameenda kufanya nini?
5 nilikuwa nimeshaambiwa hivyo that they wameitwa state house, wameitwa after jana waseme watajoin the Wamnyoro kwali. So what do you think, you people?
Every constituency ambayo inawakilishwa na mbunge mwenye ako Azimio this is the time they are supposed now to focus on that guy, for them to know, is this guy somebody mwenye ako na msimamo? Ama ni mtu mwenye anaweza kawasaliti anytime. Now that waliitwa State House, we cannot convince ourselves that these guys, they were just there to be bribed, you know. We can just assume it was a simple call that was maybe made by the president, at least to talk to them.
Why do you think that he wants to talk to them after? And people, please stick around, sawa. And I'm being told by my producer that pale kuna number ambayo iko pale. Please use that number. If you feel that it is so hard, ama it is taking so much time, and you want to really express your thing, please just call the number. Sawa, iko pale. You can text on WhatsApp. You could do that. I really appreciate. Now, and please comment. Kama za comment pia tuambie, what do you think about that? Do you think that's the right move for them to join the the coalition of Wamnyoro? And also, wakati ilibaki ya kwamba speaker wa bunge amesema ya kwamba Kenya Kwanza ndo the majority, and these people are saying that the court gave a different ruling. Sawa, do you think that was fair to them, ama it is just a whole lot of drama? I'm going to start with you, Anita.
The court gave out a fair qualification.
The court said
yes
that inabaki court ilisemaga that Azimio ndo majority.
Yeah.
But nakumbuka mimi Wetangula, and if you take me anywhere, I remember Wetangula said that court does not have any power there. Sawa, so ni yeye nda kai chini yeye na malawyers wake and whatever, and then they sit down, sawa, and they sit down. After they sit down, they will give us what? An answer. And the answer was that Kenya Kwanza is the majority in the house. And that, I remember Millie Adhiambo, ama Odhiambo. Is it
yes.
Adhiambo. Millie Adhiambo, you know, she is controversial. So
Yeah.
she was like, I'm going to respect this, sawa.
Yes.
But I'm going to come back. But they walked out. And yesterday we talked about, you know, like maybe that wasn't the best move to walk out, because bado kulikuwa na hii kitu ambayo house business chairmanship ama something that they said they're going to withdraw their members. The Azimio people, Azimio people are going to withdraw their members out of that. But the speaker said that whether muna walk out, whether mnafanya nini, but these people we're going to go meet because it is house business and all that. So the question is, do you think the ruling was fair?
Well. Thank you, Zulfa. To me, I can't say it was fair, because the Azimio member, their leader ni Raila. The Azimio people ni Raila, sindio? Ama?
Yeah.
Ruler leader sasa, leader wao ni Raila. And wakati wenye nitangwaje Ruto alikuanga na nini, anavai for the seat of the presidential seat wa nini, wakati wenye alikuanga anaenda ku present ule mwenye wana present nini anitangwa nani, ule mwenye ana presenting wa AIBC anitangwaje, ana
represent
yani ana announce the nini presidential nini announcement, anasema president mwenye amewin.
CJ
hapana,
ule mwenye anapanga nini.
You are talking about you are talking about the seat of Chebukati.
Yeah.
What yes. ABC?
Yeah, that is IBC sha.
Yeah, that's the person. Thank you. Unakumbuka wakati yenye alikuanga anataka kwenda kunini ku present, alisemanga kwanza anathreateniwa na watu wa Azimio, wanamthreaten. Alisemanga anathreateniwa na watu wa pande ya Azimio kuhusu hizo nini the presidential results ana anyone anaambia kama itakuwa ni Raila tutakufanyia hivi, no, you as kama Azimio tutafanyia hivi familia yako na pia tutakufanyia hivi. Na walikuwa bedheo wameamua kumuhonga pesa, I guess walikuwa wameamua kumuhonga pesa fulani hivi ndio aseme Raila wao ndo president. The Azimio sasa. Azimio.
What? But I remember wakati who some of them quit. Before
sasa sasa. Sasa since walikana nani Chebukati akakataa, akasema no this can't happen, na bibi yake pia akaexpose akasema bwanangu alipatwa sijui ni pesa sijui nini. Watu wa nini Azimio waliogopa, wakaona hii itakuwa serious, let us quit yani acha tujikonge mapema, tujiepushe na hii shida mapema. Wakaquit, wakaenda side ya UDA, wengine wakaamua tu kukaa tu, lakini wengine majority walienda UDA. Na ikakuwa kuna gombezi wanaambiana maneno. Unajua sasa hawa wametoa siri za Azimio huku wamepeleka kwa UDA. Wanaenda wanazinini UDA, watu wa UDA wanachangia, wanawa back support wakitusia watu wa Azimio. Hiyo ikuwa kitu ya kwanza vizuri. Juu na ulikuwa mwanajeshi, if you live to be a soldier you always die to be a soldier. Hakuna venye nini umetoka kwa chama fulani unaenda kuropoka maneno nyingi 100 kwa chama kingine, mnariba wale wengine sifa. Sasa hapo ndio ile tension yenye ilinganga nani Raila kaanza kulia.
Baba cried. Please explain to me, kuna wakati ambapo sikuwa Kenya na sikuwa nafuatilia mambo ya Kenya. Niambie.
Hiyo sasa hiyo wakati walikuwa wamesha announce results, I guess kulienda black out kidogo, wakasema obvious tu kama kawaida tu kura zimeibiwa ati black out ikienda kama kawaida, si ndio? So nani mungeona venye baba alilia, by the way akisema ameibiwa kura, it was hurting not it was touching. Imagine mzee hivyo, mzee amezeka. Na wacha nikwambie wakati nyalilia hata Ruto venye alimwambia, alisema hawezi ni machozi ya mamba ama ni machozi ya nini, yezi kamtishia alisema sijui ni kelele za mamba zizui whatever.
You know you're touching my heart. You're touching my heart.
Kuna mambo, by the way, Kenya kuna mambo.
Raila cried.
Raila lilianga akasema kura zake zimeibiwa na zinakuanga zikibiwa since anze kukua. Anafanya baadhi hata kukua amesha win your presidential seat, lakini nini kwa nini wakunaenda blackout za kuhesabu kura? So alilia akasema alibiwa kura. Na hiyo sio poa. Sasa alisema hawa wenye walihepa, unajua sasa hiyo wakati wenye presidential seat ilikuwa inaanza, hawa walikuwa wanaogopa leadership atafail, so wakajiuzuru. Sasa Raila alikuwa na blame wao.
Anasema nyinyi their leader ama genuinely they knew that the kuras will get stolen and that's why they quit.
Kwa kuibua kura mimi sijui kama zilibua real. Kwa kuibua kura sidhani kama zilibiwa real, juu kama zilibiwa sidhani kama zilibiwa hizo nini kura aziko nini haikuwa kama basi zilikuwa mbona ile wakati wa uhuru bado ndo zilikuwa zifanye zilibiwa tena na kura zilikuwa zinahesabu, wanaona wanainua hivi moja wanaweka chini, wanainua moja wanaweka chini. So sidhani mimi kama hiyo kura ilibiangwa nini, maybe nini hawa wafuasi wa Raila pia wakujitokeza wapige kura, sijui kama zilibiwa, lakini obviously lazima maneno zingekuwa kila mtu alisemanga.
So you never believe that kura za Bwana Odinga zinaibiwa?
Acha
kwanza kwa naibiwa kila wakati hivyo ndo unasema?
Zikakuwa naibiwa kila wakati, hata this time round sasa.
But mimi nasemaga 07 zilibiwa.
Zilibiwa haji yake.
Zilibiwa.
Lakini siwazi na hesabu tu tukiona hivi sisi hivi tu, yani kwa TV.
Hiyo pale yes.
Let me tell you my sister. You know, kuangalia kwa TV ama kwa screen ya TV, your screen will never deliver what you really deserve to know, okay? And yenye yanafanyika ile chemistry yenye ukarabati yenye inafanyika during those moments iko mingi sasa. Haufai kuamini hivyo kwa TV hivyo sana.
Sasa kwa na watch kitu ya
yenye hata
1930.
Ati 1930.
Unajua hizo kura ndio hizo zinahesabiwa ama kura zinahesabiwa place nyingine, nyinyi mnaonyeshwa kitu yenye iko tu hapa. How do you know? How do you know? There's someone who said, I don't remember their name, sawa? But they said, you don't trust these things because sometimes unaweza kuwa unajua aje kitu unaona kama ndio hiyo for real, sawa? But hiyo ni conspiracy nyingi. Now, sawa, Mr. Felix, you wanted to read something.
I was not reading, but I wanted to make my sister to understand that when it comes to these things, political analysis, voting and whatever, those things are much complex, and you cannot even judge them the way you see them. You understand? Because Zulfa, you cannot be a good friend to somebody who you think is against your destiny. In every
That's true.
I know. You understand?
Yes.
When it comes to 07, I want to correct you guys. By that time, somebody who was a chairperson for IEBC, his name was somebody Kivuitu.
Felix.
Yes.
As we continue.
Yes.
You're saying that someone who was you're saying that you cannot be friends with someone who is against your destiny.
Yes.
Elaborate.
Let me I'm explaining this through political aspect according to the
through political, that's why.
You know, President Ruto and President Uhuru will never have differences because Uhuru ako nje na hana anything to do with presidency right now. You understand? But President Ruto can maybe be creative enough to support the former president, the former prime minister Raila Odinga, aenda ashinde huyu ndiye atoke Kenya acha kumuletea maybe some pressures.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
So don't ever try to think that when you people you fight for the same thing, the other guy is comfortable where he is. The guy is training to think about what he could do to win you. You understand? So he is trying to do what? To be an obstacle when it comes to your destiny. Having a destiny, your destination can be state house. State house, it means maybe you are a president now by that time. And President Ruto does it to do what?
It is true. Now I get you. What?
President Ruto akiona like tena huyu anaweza kuja kunicompete hivi tena nako na nguvu, atafanya nini? Atatafuta namna
akuondoe,
namna ya kukutafutia.
I tried to say that in the morning. I tried to say that.
Unanielewa? Lakini ni ujua aje anajaribu ku safeguard the office, si kwa nia mbaya. Si kwa sababu maybe anakutakia vibaya. Ni kwa sababu anataka. Do you know that we live by being creative? Sawa? Achana wale watu wabaya wenye wanakaa sijui aje, wenye wanaenda kuiba duka ya mtu. Wakitumia panga na visu na mashoka. That is not being creative. You know what? How can you be creative so that maybe you can get money from that person? Unaweza enda umwambie mimi ni content creator na kazi yangu ni ya kubeba mashoka. Wakati ninafanya content zangu ninaenda ninafanya nini sunipatie bidhaa yako, nichore hiyo picha kwa hii shoka yenye huwa ninatumianga kufanya nayo content huko, wakati maybe niko mbele ya kamera. Hiyo bidhaa yako inaonekana hapo, and that is part of advertisement. Baada ya kwenda kumnyang'anya ukitumia sasa hiyo shoka kama wewe criminal, huyu mtu ushamuwin na truly atakupatia pesa na utamsaidia hivyo, so mmesaidiana. Sijui kama unanielewa. So Anita and Zulfa, I was trying to make you understand this. I have used a very good example. Okay? Yes. So I was giving you a story concerning somebody by the name Kivuitu. Kivuitu was a chair of IBC. Kivuitu. Okay? Was a chair of IEBC during that time. You understand? And by that time...
Kivuitu. Say the name the way it's supposed to be said. You're making me start thinking, who are you talking about? It is Kivuitu. See Kivuitu. Kivuitu, who is Kivuitu? Kivuitu. What did Kivuitu do?
Yes, was the chair of IBC during that time.
During the 07s?
Yes. So, he decided to he was in a very big dilemma. I don't know whether hizi kura zilienda zikatoshana in numbers. I don't know. But before atangaze mtu mwenye alikuwa metangulia ni Raila. After at some point sijui zilikuja zikatoshana, I don't know, because I have got no clear information. So wakati alikuja kutangaza like tena mwenye amekuja kuzidi the number ya mwenye mezidi ni huyu, tena ndio confusion ikaingia. So
what did he announce?
Ali-announce President Kibaki, by the way. Yeah, ni kama kura za Kibaki zilikuja zikazidi hizi zingine. So wakaanza kujiuliza sasa zimezidi saa ngapi. Na zenye sasa hiyo malumbano ikaleta mambo. Unanielewa? Sasa I don't know ulikuwa unajaribu kuzungumzia nini. We were talking about Azimio. Let me tell you the truth.
Azimio went back to history. You know, so that we may try and understand. Tumesema Anita amesema hivi. Nimeuliza, do you think the court's ruling was fair? And because Mr. Wetangula said that the court ruling is not like admissible there. Sawa? And Wetangula akasema ya kwamba bado Kenya Kwanza are the ruling, are the majority. Sawa? So I was asking the question that now that these people Azimio walitoka wakaenda wakatalia mambo wakasema kwamba tunakataa, sisi ndo watu tuko hapa wengi, we are the majority. Na hapo Faruk ndo alitoa statement na nitwaje na Miss Adhiambo. Mili Adhiambo. Wakatoa statements zao, wakasema mambo yao kadha wakasema kwamba sisi tunakataa, but we will come back. But they still stormed out, walked out of the court. And they went and they held their own press conference. They talked about how they're going to join the Wamnyoro. So I was asking, do you think that the Wetangula, because inabaki ya kwamba what these people are saying, the Azimio people, that the court said they are the majority, but these other people are behaving. Kuna Teresia Mudhoni anasema watching live from Dubai. Hey Teresia, how are you? Welcome. We love you. So what am I saying? I'm saying, do you think that Wetangula was fair? Because yesterday someone said here that Wetangula is being jambo tena. Inasemango hivyo ngoma. Habari gani? Thank you, Teresia. So the thing, what am I trying to say is, someone said that Wetangula is being biased. Do you think he was biased? And do you think that it is a right move for them to join Wamnyoro? Bwana Felix.
Yes.
Continue. Niambie. Do you think that Wetangula was biased? And do you think that them joining Wamnyoro coalition is the best move to make? And after you're done, let my sister answer too.
Okay, thank you so much. Zulfa, for your information, Wetangula made it clear that you cannot bring your documents when some of the informations are already done, you know. And at the same time, truly, I personally, I cannot say that he was fair or not. But the fact is, there was a very big risk to announce those people that they are a majority. Let me tell you the truth. if they could be announced that they were majority, whatever they could decide, that was what could happen. You understand? Let me ask you, what do you think will happen when the opposition section will be majority in the National Assembly? Do you think the president will ever have powers anymore? I'm asking you.
Yes.
Do you?
Yes.
Do you think he will have powers anymore?
Yes.
He will never. Why? Whatever he can mention, okay? And the parliament goes against, remember that the majorities are the opposition. How any idea from him can work? You understand?
Yes, I do.
They decided to go and join Wamnyoro community. I don't know whether you saw that video where they decided that they were going to join Wamnyoro coalition.
I did, but I don't know if my dear viewer saw. And Teresia Mudhoni anasema thanks, love you too.
You understand? So the fact that now they were trying to figure out Zulfa, I think your question was why.
Nimeuliza hivi,
yes.
Sawa? Do you think that huyu mjamaa alikuwa bias?
Oh yes, that was the question. Let me tell you. Nilikuwa nishakujibu by the way. Nilikwambia aje, he was not.
He was right.
He was not biased.
Okay.
Yes.
Now do you think that wao kujoin coalition ni vizuri?
Kujoin coalition ya Wamnyoro? Gachagua si anataka ka backup.
So it is the best thing.
So vile Gachagua anataka so you want to know maoni yangu upande wa kujoin coalition ya Wamnyoro?
Yeah, kama itakuwa mzuri for Kenya. It is not for them. For Kenya.
Every leader who is in parliament right now, anataka all the best according to his principles. Zulfa, remember right now vile tunasema hivi, vile tunasema tu hivi, many people are totally against the government. You understand?
Yes.
So even those leaders ilikuwa rejected that they are not majority, and they made that decision of going maybe to visit and make a coalition with Wamnyoro. They are trying to make to strengthen their abilities and their interests, so that whatever happens, they can be able to oppose, and if possible have what a backup, have a backup. So by joining the Wamnyoro coalition, I don't know. It's okay. Hii message nitaisoma lakini si sahi. Hii ni message ya fan anataka nisome lakini nitaisoma after some time. So I'm trying to say Kenya the Azimio coalition making a decision of going to join to make a coalition with Wamnyoro. It was for the benefit of Kenyans. Remember that we really need opposition opposing group that will give the government sleepless nights for the government to work properly. Unaelewa? So by joining Wamnyoro coalition, it is not bad. It is constitutionally right. And unless if you have got a question, you can question me.
I want Anita to answer the same question.
Answer it, yani lakini venye bradangu Felix explain iko poa.
So Zulfa
amesema poa tu.
Yeah, Zulfa.
Yes.
This is thank you so much my sister. Unajua ndo maana sometimes pia mimi nakurank sana and I really appreciate. Umeanza Valentine vibes tukiwa in
Wacha.
I'm saying
yes.
Wamnyoro is just like an opposition party, which was formed against the government. Kenya Kwanza, naturally, in that house, it is also opposition group in parliament. By being when they were denied that chance to be majority, there was a big reason, and yet maybe if they were not majority, Zulfa, they cannot force issues. Or if maybe they thought that they were majority, but the others went and withdrew those.
But how do they make that ruling? How do they know who is majority and who is not majority?
Let me make it in a simple way.
Yes.
When you have got many members of parliament from your party, as compared to other party, that is when you are majority.
Sasa si inabaki Azimio ndo wengi.
Lakini sasa ilikuja ikajulikana kumbe wengine ni kama walikuja withdraw. Anyway.
Oh, they came and they jumped ship.
Yeah, something like that.
Unaambia mbona wajificha na hizo glass sense? Speak out. Listen. So remove them. But this is like the 10th person. Anakwambiaga one day malianzaga. Toa glasses tukuone uso baba. We wanna see the windows of your soul. We wanna see your soul. Toa glasses. Muoneshe macho. Jamii zangu ni transparent so someone can see my eyes. Toa glasses.
Nitatoa baadaye, si sahi.
Felix ingekuwa producer lazima hii microphone nikuambie kitu but hakuna mambo. There is no need. This is why I tell you things I tell you when we are off the show. Sawa? So Azimio people wameitwa parliament, wameitwa state house and I said that. Sawa? And apparently wanabaki watatoka na 10M kila mtu. So the president, do you think the president doesn't want them to join the Wamnyoro? Because the moment that Azimio joins Wamnyoro, it is game over.
Let me answer that question. You are asking. Anyway, let me just answer it. Zulfa.
Yes.
Remember that everything that is going on right now is against the president, mostly, and many people are not even trying to appreciate whatever he has tried to do. You understand? So if we really requested them to visit there, it will never mean that it was all about bribing them or something else, you know. But he is trying to convince them and try to look for ways to bring them just closer to work together as a government. Remember, even though they are opposition, yes, they are in the government. You understand? So remember, the president is the head of this state. The moment you will let these people to just work the way they may need to work, be sure with me it will be very dangerous to the country, to the government. In fact, the government will never work. The government will never work peacefully because if they are going to get a backup from the other side, then they will bring headache in the government. So what we really need to focus here is all about that. What will be their plan next? How are they going to work? You understand?
Yes.
But joining Wamnyoro coalition at the same side, at the same time, I can say it is not wrong. They are all Kenyans. Okay, if they can decide to join together and come up with a blend of something that can help the country, then well and good. Yes.
Okay, Bwana Felix. Sawa? Anita.
Yes.
Tuambie dada. What is in your mind?
Umesema Bwana Ruto Ni Bwana Ruto ndo
Bwana Ruto unadhani kwamba anataka
ndio amepeana yote anapatiana kwa 10 million.
We do this is the thing that they were called today at the State House, and they might I'm going to emphasize on the word they might. Okay. They might get 10 million each. So do you think he's going to try and bribe them so that they may not join Gachagua?
Now, well. Zulfa. I guess Bwana Ruto akono uoga. Akono uoga ka fulani anaona if this happen, then this will happen. So anaona hii team venye imeamua kujiunga na Wamnyoro, definitely mtu atashindwa. So ako like bana hizi TK happen. Si bado kuna wenye walienda kuongelesha Gachagua bado wana bribe, walikuwa wameenda kumpatia sijui ni pesa ngapi hata. Ilikuwa ni how much. Wameenda kupatia Gachagua afanye nini ati withdraw from his office, no? Yani accept ama ni kufanya nini? Bribing him whereby they are using Kenya's money. Aya, hao wengine wa Azimio wanaweza patiwa tena 10 million. Hata acha ni kwa ni ukweli. Pesa zake za Ruto ni kama tu anataka tu kubribe watu nazo. Anataka kubribe watu kwa uongozi. He wants to buy leadership through bribing. Ndio? Azimio, watu Azimio ni wengi by the way. Wakiamua kusupport, I guess wakiamua kusupport Ruto atasimama tena. Wakiamua kusupport Gachagua will win this. Na hii inafanya ina drive fear kwake nani Ruto. So Ruto not for that. Hataki hiyo happen. That's why wameongea nao, lakini Ruto hataki hii happen. Mambo ya nini ashindwe na Gachagua. That's why maybe also suggestion ya kupatiwa 10 million watapewa. Na mimi hata wakipewa maybe kama if they are for Gachagua bado watakuwa Gachagua, and if they are for
tusema wewe chukua do tu.
Chukua do. Lakini hiyo sio poa. Ruto mbona ana try ku bribe watu wamfanyie favor?
Unajua tutamuuliza Bwana Felix, sawa? Bwana Felix anajua historia ya Bwana Ruto. Alijaribu pia kumonga Mahmoud. Mahmoud wa Djibouti. So Felix, tell us about that.
Zulfa, I'm not sure about that story. I remember there even the first live we slightly talked about the same issue. It was just a rumors whereby we don't have any evidence. In fact, I'm not sure about it, you know. But if it was so, then I have no right to judge anybody here. You understand? But if it is the same case that drove him to call the Azimio leaders to State House, yes? Then we really need still to cry unto him, if possible, to give us what we deserve. I don't know maybe whether I'm making sense before you guys.
Yeah.
So and I'm not sure whether that will be the case, but I'm very sure labda ni aliwaita wajaribu kuongea kama aliitisha dialogue.
Okay. Sawa. So I'm going to ask the producer sababu I've received messages. Sawa? People are saying kuna kitu that is slightly different from what you're talking about. But nimeulizwa na watu kama watatu, sawa? And you know your viewer is everything. Wanasema that Fenad Waitutu ako live. Ameshtakiwa na mashtaka fulani, na if we could throw them there kidogo. If that is okay with the producer. So as the producer is searching for that,
yes,
I want to ask you, Miss Anita,
what
do you think we would do to change Kenya? Gender feelings answer the same question. Ama, what have you done as a citizen to help Kenya?
We, unajua kitu moja nye kwa wananchi yenye wanakuwa wamejisetia kwa mind yao, Kenya ni ya serikali. Yes, ni yetu, lakini wao wamejisetia Kenya ni ya serikali. Vitu zina happen, wao waonangi kama ni yetu, yani kama wana Kenya. Wao wanasemanga wacha serikali itashughulikia hii mambo, wacha serikali itashughulikia hii mambo, badala wachukue hatua wa support. The more tunaonesha support kwa vitu kama hizi, the more at least hata ni serikali yetu iko inakuwa protective, inajua enyewe we have some tuko na watu wenye tunaweza ka anything that happens tunaweza consult. So Kenya anything ki happen unasikia watu mtu anasema Kenya serikali ya Kenya ichukulia hatua sijui nini yet sisi wenyewe tunaweza ka stand up na to fight maybe hiyo kitu yenye happen. Kenya wameamulia serikali ni ya Kenya. Sasa mimi history ya kunini reveal the leaders na venye wamekuwa corrupt na venye wamekula mali ya serikali, venye wanawa reveal inanibamba sana. Juu at least unajua the more wanaendelea kwa reveal. Saizi wali revealing yani tangu nani ule mwingine mwenye walisema alikuwa amekula pesa sana, governor alinini ule governor mwingine bado alimreveal na akasema I guess walisema atachukuliwa hatua, si ndio? The more wanaendelea tu kureveal hivi watu, huyu anakula mali ya serikali, huyu anafanya mali ya wananchi, mali yetu sisi, hiyo inaendelea kufanya Kenya inaendelea hata italeta watu wataamua sasa, let's fight this. By the way, this is becoming serious, let us stand up and fight this. I can't stand here and watch ati mtu ako corrupt na najua the ukikuwa corrupt unakuwa exposed Kenya na unachukuliwa sheria. That's the best thing nimesikia hii mwaka imenibamba. Hata kama ijisha at least hii mwaka itakuwa na kitu kimoja sensible yenye itakuwa at least itakuwa kwa history. Atukifanya nini uko na stories za corruption unakuwa exposed kwa Kenya, watu wanajua venye umekuwa thief. By the way, kwanza hata huyu nani ni Ferdinand Waitito sawe kwa hata na bibi yake kwa koti. Wacha nini law, wacha law ikuwe, let law take it nini, let the law take hand on that. Hiyo ni poa sana. I'm proud of that, by the way. Amaje Felix, hiyo ni poa.
You are right.
Hiyo ni poa sana.
You are right. Zulfa, what did you just say about yesterday? Wali gang up ndio walienda kuona mkuu ama ni leo? Ni leo.
Jana ndo wali storm out. Na vile wali storm out wakaenda wakachukua press. Actually there's that footage. Sawa?
Yes.
And kuna footage nyingi ambazo watu wanataka kuchezewa, sawa?
Yes.
Kuna hiyo ya the way they walked out and they went and had their own press conference and they said they're going to join Wamnyoro coalition. And then today I received news kitu saa 11 asubuhi ya kwamba
yes,
they want to join Wamnyoro coalition. They were threatening to join Wamnyoro coalition.
They were threatening to join the Azimio member. They were threatening. Wana threaten nani Ruto?
Wara join Wamnyoro.
Why do they have, is it a must they threaten?
Now that is a question. That is a question Anita might.
Na sasa hii kitu ni nyinyi mnajitolea like sisi tunataka hii. When the best for Kenya. Sasa wanamdrede ndio ama pia wanataka hiyo pesa.
It might seem because them threatening to go ama to join Wamnyoro, na najua that mtu ambaye wana threaten ama walikuwa wasema ama they want the rulings to be changed so they are threatening. I don't know. Webu niambie dadangu.
Ama nikuulize kwanza nani Zulfa kabla wamekaa kwanza chini wakaongea na Ruto.
They went just to a press conference.
Alafu wakasema wao wanataka kujoin hiyo, saa ikamtia wasiwasi Ruto akasema hapana, hao watu na venye wako chama yao ni strong, wakifanya hivi mambo yatabadilika upande wangu. Kwa hivyo wakadecide anini amwe venye atawa convince, na sasa wameanza kumthreaten. I guess pia wanataka pesa, or maybe wanataka hii pesa wafanye nini, wakule, wanataka kwanza wapatiwe pesa. Na bado mimi niko sure hawezi kubali bado kwa chama ya Ruto. Kama watu wamejamulia wanataka kwenda kwa Wamnyoro chama, I guess bado tu unajua unaweza kuwa umeset mind yako kwa kitu na unajamulia lazima hii kitu nitimize. I guess wao bado watatimiza tu hiyo nini. Juu jisikia Gachagua akiwa na side effect yoyote kwa Azimio. Jawaisikia. na nani anitangwa Ruto alikuwa enemy wa Azimio. Venye the Azimio leaders walifail, hawakumpenda nani Ruto tena. Wakasema Ruto ni mwizi, wakamwambia majina nyingi nini. Yaani hawakubambika na there is no way Ruto atawa change their mind. So acha kujiambia sijui nini. Na hiyo mambo na kuthreaten, mimi najua maybe watu na threaten wanataka pesa na kumtishia nani tu Ruto.
If I want to play a video clip where they were talking yesterday, and at least for you guys to understand what was going on yesterday. So
But let me tell you something. It is going to be messy, it is going to be noisy, and it is going to have casualties. It is going to have casualties, I can promise you. And we can see it is getting smelly. Already, from the way Parliament is being handled, it is getting smelly.
Mwango can see it also.
We don't feel any broad-based arrangement in Parliament.
No,
there is nothing. Broad-based is in the executive only. Parliament has no broad-based mechanism. We are not there. So, with the permission of my fellow colleagues, I have told you, going forward, it's not going to be business as usual.
Correct.
And we have withdrawn our members from the House Business Committee.
Yes.
I am sure they have just said, as many of that opinion, we will whip them if they put them there. Yes. They will have their own House Business Committee, their own.
Yes.
Which will also challenge in court, in public, in private, everywhere. So,
are you a low-skilled worker?
The way they are talking. Sawa? What is your take?
Wacha kwanza. Kuna comment yenye sawa. I don't know. Umesoma comments? Hiyo video
glasses.
Mimi na strain macho ndo maana sasa I was trying to say, Zulfa Kwanza, I was trying to say, that video clip does not have the full information, which I saw. I don't know whether we played a different one, but the fact here was they were trying to complain seriously to an extent they could say, let's go even right now.
Let's
go even right now.
And how do we know? You know, I'm waiting actually. I'm waiting to know if they really are gonna know. My person is gonna tell me by Leo Gioni. So, and then tomorrow I'm gonna come here. You know, being a journalist ni kuwa mbea. Unaambiwa vitu chini ya maji unakuja unaniambia kila mtu unajua. Oh, so I'm waiting for my person to tell me, and then mimi mbea mwenzie nitakuja niwaambia. Tell me, Felix.
I think they are on their move, maybe to make agreement. You know, you cannot just join just easily, randomly. You understand? Maybe they are in good. They are in the process of maybe making that coalition with the Wamnyoro to be effective. Maybe they are trying to figure out. Zulfa, you know these things, you cannot just do it because you are doing them. You understand? Before you come to sign that now we are together and we really need to do these things together, you really need to understand what your friend wants and what are the needs from your colleague too, and your needs too. So when you combine your needs, nobody is going maybe to exploit any other. You understand? Unless maybe we have got a question.
Now, so I think we have all come to one page when it comes to the Wamnyoro, to the Azimio, to everything. So, kidogo, I thought I saw something on that, but let me see. There's a live that is going on right now, sawa, and I've been told that there's a live that is going right now, sawa, ya Kenya Kwanza and Azimio MPs, sindio? So I don't know if you could, Ama the producer would show us that, would take us there, because bado it is still going on. Yes? So talk to the producer. Now, Anita, sawa. Where do you care as a Kenyan citizen? Do you care who is majority or who is minority? Ama you only care about the services to be done, whatever they promised you. Kama your MP from your place, you told me that your MCA or your MP anakaa karibu na hapo na kuna shida sana hapo ya barabara. Why is that though? What do you care about? For them being majority, for them being the minority, ama just the work to be done?
To me, I don't care ama ni wengi ama ni wachache kwa the government, ati hawa ni wengi ndio watafanya, hawa ni wachache ndio hawatafanya. The only thing I need now and I want it to happen is the promises that they have been promising, they have been announcing, they are promising everywhere, na hakuna hata mmoja wamewaitimiza. Umesema about our the leader.
The public servant as leader.
I guess ni wa chama la Azimio. I guess ni wa Azimio leader. Sasa yeye ageza kasimamishwe hivi.
So my dear,
yes.
Just a moment, we're going to go to the live. Okay. Then you're going to come back.
Thank you.
Brought light and happiness by his knowledge of Swahili, his commendation on football made every Kenyan like football. Mr. Speaker, today, the late Leonard Mambo Mbotela character was even identified by the KDF boys led by Ochuka, who captured him to bring him to VOK so that Kenyans could know that really Kenya was under the then KDF takeover. Mr. Speaker, today I'm also a very unhappy person. When the family of Leonard Mambo Botela told us he is going to be deterred, he's going to be deterred at the Langar Cemetery, Kenyans wondered how. Mr. Speaker, we also learned really he was not a Kenyan descent, of Kenyan descent, but from Malawi. Mr. Speaker, how I wish as a nation we can honor such a man and give him a status that befits a hero of his nature. Mr. Speaker, how I wish Leonard Mambo Mbotela's funeral could be undertaken and taken care of, the cost and everything, by the Kenya government. Mr. Speaker, it's also important to know that even if the family doesn't have a place to lay him to rest, this nation has always honored heroes. Leonard Mambo Mbotela must be honored as so. On the same breath, Mr. Speaker, when I walked in, I found some members who are registering to go to Addis Ababa. Mr. Speaker, it's important for Kenyans to know, if Raila Odinga is going to AUC, it's not about the broad-based government. It's about Kenya. I wish, Mr. Speaker, because I know you are a generous man, how you can also accord some of us who are not in the broad-based government. You afford us to go to Addis Ababa so that we have...
Order, you are out of order.
Sorry, Mr. Speaker.
What is going on in Addis Ababa has nothing to do with the death of Leonard Mambo.
Mr. Speaker, I'm talking about heroes.
Yes.
We are celebrating one Amolo Raila Odinga as a hero who is living. And Mr. Speaker, our support to him shows how patriotic we are. Mr. Speaker, you don't have to wait for heroes to die so that we celebrate them. That is why I brought it that way. But however, Mr. Speaker, allow me to join other members who are passing their condolences to the late Leonard Mambo Mbotela. May his soul rest in eternal peace. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll end up there on Leonard Mambo. I will invite Kiborek Ruben to also make a statement, then we'll observe a minute silence for both. I hadn't noticed you, but let Kiborek speak.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to pay tribute to a great man, a former member of Parliament, South Baringo, which is Mogoti and Eldama Ravine currently, Honorable Edward Cherutich Kiptanui. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to Standing Order number 259, D2, I rise with a heavy heart to pay tribute to former member of Parliament Mogoti, South Baringo, which is now Mogoti and Eldama Ravine, Honorable Edward Kiptanui. Mr. Speaker, Honorable Edward Cherutich Kiptanui transitioned from this world on Tuesday, January 28, 2025, after a short illness. We mourn his departure, but also celebrate a life well lived, a life dedicated to service, leadership, and betterment of our nation. Honorable Speaker, born on 15 February 1934 in Baringo, in Kisanana, Baringo, Mogotio, Baringo County, Honorable Kiptanui was the firstborn of the late Assistant Chief Kimulwa Kiptanui and Alai Kimulwa. From an early age, he displayed a thirst for knowledge and determination to uplift those around him. His education journey took him from Kisanana to Tenge Secondary School and later to Kabarnet Intermediate School, where he laid his foundation for his long dedication to service and leadership. Driven by passion for education, Honorable Kiptanui trained as a teacher at Kijabe Teachers Training College, eventually rising to the position of principal at a meaningful primary school. Even in his role as a teacher, he demonstrated unwavering commitment to community development. This elevated him to elective politics as the county council representative for the Central Rift. Honorable Speaker, his leadership qualities soon led him into national service, and in 1966, he was nominated as Member of Parliament. Though his journey in elective politics faced challenges, he remained resilient, and ultimately winning the larger South Baringo parliamentary seat in 1974. For 15 years, from 1974 to 1988, Honorable Kiptanui served his constituent with integrity and vision. His dedication and hard work earned him the trust of President Daniel Toroitich Arap Moi, who appointed him Assistant Minister for water development from 1979 to 1988. This period is spearheaded numerous empowerment initiatives championing access to water, to education, water resource, employment, opportunities, and economic development for its people. Mr. Speaker, even after his tenure in Parliament, his service to the nation did not wane. In 1991, he was appointed chairman of the National Water Corporation, as a position he held for a decade. His leadership in this role further reinforced his legacy as a champion of public welfare and sustainable development. Mr. Speaker, on behalf of this House, may I extend our deepest, sincere condolences to the family, friends, and community of Honorable Edward Cherudi Kiptanui. May his soul rest in eternal peace. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable Kiptanui was a great man, and I'm very proud to walk on the shoulders of those giants who came before me in Mogotio and in South Baringo and Baringo at large. He was a great leader to my community, to this nation, and to our great county of Baringo. He served with dedication, with integrity, and with passion. He transformed the life of our people and the life of this nation, and we are immensely proud of him and his legacy that he left behind. We are proud as the people of Baringo, people of Mogotio, and may his soul rest in eternal peace, Mr. Speaker. Thank you for granting me this honor.
Thank you, Kiborek. Sirma.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me the opportunity to also condole with the family of our late departed Member of Parliament, Edward Cherutich Kiptanui. Kiptanui was a great man. He went through the many political storms within Baringo. Baringo was a hotbed of politics at that time. And Mr. Speaker, I for one, when I was in Form 4, we decided just to go and register for voter's card, and even took an ID in advance because my father believed in Mr. Edward Kiptanui. And I voted for him in 1979. Yes, so I voted for him in 1979 and voted for him in 1984. So I voted for him twice. In the third time, because of political storm, he was removed by the Kano Mandarins at that time. But what I know is there was no election in 1988 anyway in this country. So this Mulolongo nonsense, which was there at that time, removed Kiptanui from the seat of power. And the people of Mogotio and Eldama Ravine still remember him to date. And on behalf of the members of parliament from Baringo, whom we are joined together, we have gone to their family, and even the member for Rongai, who also is a neighbor. Mr. Speaker, we need to also give him a heroic send-off as a former member of parliament who served for 4 terms. He came here as a nominated member of parliament after being beaten by Babu Ud in Nakuru North constituency, and then came to Baringo South, where he went for 3 terms straight. And I would say he was popular and he was a man of the people. And at that time, Mr. Speaker, you remember, even you, when you came to this parliament, there was no salary. But he managed, because he was a good man and he was endowed a bit, and he helped us in all other places where he could. Made children go to school, build schools, and there was no CDF at that time. So I want to say he's a great man. May his soul rest in eternal peace. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll end there on the tributes. Honorable members, I want to close here. We have a lot of business to carry. Yes, Sabina? On Kiptanui?
No. Mr. Speaker, I wanted to give my condolences about Leonard Mambo Botela. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity. And on the onset, Mr. Speaker, I am an old journalist, and I happen to work with Leonard Mambo Botela as one of our senior fathers in broadcasting, a man who inspired majority of us when we were young people. And I was very proud, Mr. Speaker, when I joined the Kenya Broadcasting Corporation to work closely with him. He was a good mentor. He was a man, Mr. Speaker, who even stood with the government even during the coup, and a man who offered himself. Unfortunately, Mr. Speaker, majority of these senior people in broadcasting, Mr. Speaker, they end up having a very difficult life, and especially at the old age. Mr. Speaker, I would want to urge the Committee on Communication, and especially Honorable Kiarie, I know he's here. It is important that we look at the talents that we have. We see how we can be able to build the talents. We see how we can be able to take care, especially those old people who are there, who entertained us, who offered themselves. And the salary then at KBC was very little, very, very small. And even looking at the salaries that the current journalists who work in Kenya Broadcasting Corporation are paid. We have the best talents there. We need to focus and put more money in Kenya Broadcasting Corporation. They build young talents, but they end up either being poached by other media houses. And since it is a training ground, I'll urge the Committee on Communication to relook at the perks that are given to the people who are working at Kenya Broadcasting Corporation, and also have a pension scheme, because the money they earn is very little. Majority of them are not even in permanent and pensionable. They are actually called one name, which is called artists, and which they are normally on like a casual basis, and a majority of them have worked even for 20, 30 years, but not on permanent basis. And that means at their old age, they have not saved anything. If you have a pension scheme where they can be able to be supported, even by the government, celebrated, and especially even when we are doing the honors, those are the ones who need to get the head of state commendation and recognition, because we know entertainment and the therapy they give in humor, it has actually helped a lot of people. And especially, Mr. Speaker, this time where everybody seems to be upset about nothing and about everything, where there's a lot of things happening within the country and the stress levels are high. These people who work as therapists, who bring humor, who bring happiness to us, who wake up in the morning to inform us what is happening in the country, who sometimes, some of them are comedians, we need to take good care of them because they're also taking good care of our hearts. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and may Leonard Mambo Botela rest in peace, and I hope the government can have something to support his family. I thank you.
Thank you. We'll end up there on those tributes, honorable members. I also knew Leonard Mambo Botela as an undergraduate student at the University of Nairobi when we used to run a program at VOK known as Books and Bookmen. You read books and you go to the radio to discuss with the rest of Kenyans. We used to run it with Professor Chris Wanjala, the late, Professor Okot Bitek, and a few other professors. In 1982, I represented the coup plotters who overthrew the government of President Moi for 2 hours. And Leonard Mambo Botela was a key witness in the case against Senior Private Ezekiel Ochuka and Senior Private Okumu, who are my clients. And you could feel his patriotism when he represented the country. So for the honor of the late Honorable Kiptanui and Leonard Mambo Botela, shall we be upstanding for a minute's silence? May their souls rest in eternal peace. Amen. Thank you. And for you members and leaders like Owen Bayer, this is the moment where you should reflect and see that the country needs a hero's corner to bury people like Leonard Mambo Botela. It is disheartening to hear that we are going to bury Leonard Mambo Mbotela in Langata Cemetery. Probably his grave will be on top of a grave, knowing how crowded the place is. Next order. Honorable members, I'll direct that before we go to the procedural motions, we dispose of all the bills at first reading stage. So clerk, call out orders 20 to 25 before we come back to order number 8. Yes, Jared Okello, what's the point of order? Give Jared Okello the mic.
I thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. There is an issue that I need your direction on, Honorable Speaker. A matter has always been brought before this House intermittently at various intervals, but the last time that it was brought here, which I believe is 6 months ago, you gave a direction. And this relates to hardship allowance, Honorable Speaker. Now, when you gave that direction, Honorable Speaker, a multi-agency team that was brought in by the government through various agencies undertook a survey across the country, particularly on areas that were touched by the agitation for inclusion on hardship allowance, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I'm aware that a report was done and was presented to the Ministry of Public Service, Honorable Speaker. But as is characteristic of this country, Honorable Speaker, very good reports that ought to infuse changes where necessary gather dust in these offices, Honorable Speaker. Up to now, that report has not been presented either to Parliament that came up with this matter through your direction, or be taken to the Ministry of Treasury and Economic Planning, Honorable Speaker, for direction, because it is a matter that touches on more funding to go towards addressing the challenges that bedevil our people in hardship areas, Honorable Speaker. So I need your direction at this point, Honorable Speaker, to ask the Ministry of Public Service to do the necessary, because they have the reports with them there, either to bring them here or forward them to Treasury, so that the areas that were excluded inadvertently or otherwise can be incorporated into this scheme, Honorable Speaker. Because, as you know, there are many areas that have been disenfranchised, and we spoke about this. Where I come from, for example, and a representative of the wishes of many people here, I sit between Muhoroni and Nyakach constituencies, both of which are benefiting from hardship allowance. Immediately, teachers are brought into Nyando constituency. They apply to be transferred to those areas because of this incentive, Honorable Speaker. So the report is out. The report is available. Direct, Honorable Speaker, that the necessary channels that ought to ensue need to take shape, Honorable Speaker. And I thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, Jared. Owen Bayer, can you follow up that matter and report to the House on Wednesday afternoon next week?
All right, thank you very much.
I think that's a matter that, as Jared Okello rightly puts it, in the last session, it was raised here not less than 3-4 times.
Yes. Okay.
Yes, Ruku. Give Ruku the mic. Is it on the same issue or something different?
It's on a similar issue.
Go ahead.
Mr. Speaker, before we broke for recess, you gave instructions that the first thing which should be done when we come here is for the chairman of Health Committee to give a report on the status of the rust expense and death gratuity payment to the survivors and beneficiaries of National Health Insurance Fund and Public Service Superannuation Scheme. I brought this matter about 3 times, Mr. Speaker, and the Committee of Health, the Departmental Committee of Health, failed to bring this matter to give a statement as far as this issue is concerned, and you gave a directive that first thing before we do anything, when we come back, is for the chairman of Departmental Committee of Health to give the report, or to table the report on this matter. And from the look of things, Mr. Speaker, we are starting the business without the chairman of Departmental Committee on Health giving the status of this issue.
Well noted, Owen Bayer.
Thank you.
Note that and see if a response and attention can be dealt with by Thursday next week.
Much obliged.
Yes, CNN. What was it? On the same hardship issue?
Yes, it's on the same issue, but Mr. Speaker, I was not sure whether Owen Bayer was actually aware what you requested him to do, but he has clarified, he has gotten what he's supposed to follow up. Thank you, sir.
You have capacity to know whether he's understanding or not? From where you are sitting? Yes, Owen.
Honourable Speaker, I have immense capacity. You know, the Honourable CNN failed to lift a plane after having been trained for 8 years as a pilot. So we can continue to doubt his ability as a failed pilot. But I have heard, Honourable Speaker, and we're going to ensure that the House is well informed. I'm informed that the reports from the Honourable Pokose are actually ready. Yes, you're aware, and we'll just make sure
that it will be on Tuesday.
That on that day, Honourable Speaker, they are tabled in the House, and we'll also get the report that Jared has requested to ensure the House, the promises that the House has made are brought here. Honourable Speaker, much obliged. Thank you very much.
And assure CNN that you are alert.
And I'll say CNN, I'm usually very, very alert, and I can multitask.
Yes, Clerk. Next order.
Order number 20, the Public Transport Motorcycle Regulation Bill, Senate Bill number 38 of 2023, first reading. A bill for an act of Parliament to provide for the regulation of the border industry and for connected purposes. Order number 21, the Public Finance Management Amendment Bill, Senate Bill number 40 of 2023, first reading. A bill for an act of Parliament to amend the Public Finance Management Act and for connected purposes. Order number 22, the Fire and Rescue Services Professionals Bill, Senate Bill number 55 of 2023, first reading. A bill for an act of Parliament to provide for the promotion, development and regulation of the fire and rescue services profession, to provide for the establishment of institutional and regulatory framework for representation, participation, training and regulation of fire and rescue services professional practice and for connected purposes. Order number 23, the Intergovernmental Relations Amendment Bill, Senate Bill number 12 of 2024, first reading. A bill for an act of Parliament to amend the Intergovernmental Relations Act and for connected purposes. Order number 24, the Political Parties Amendment number 2 Bill, Senate Bill number 26 of 2024, first reading. A bill for an act of Parliament to amend the Political Parties Act, Cap 7D, and for connected purposes. Order number 25, the Elections Amendment number 2 Bill, Senate Bill number 29 of 2024, first reading. A bill for an act of Parliament to amend the Elections Act and for connected purposes.
Now go back to order number 8.
Order number 8, procedural motion, limitation of debate on bills sponsored by parties for committees.
Owen Bayer.
Honourable Speaker, I beg to move the procedural motion on the limitation of debate on bills sponsored by parties or committees. Honourable Speaker, that pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 97-1, this House orders that each speech in a debate on bills sponsored by a committee, the leader of the majority party or the leader of the minority party, be limited as follows. A maximum of 45 minutes for the mover in moving and 15 minutes in replying. A maximum of 30 minutes for the chairpersons of the relevant committee if the bill is not sponsored by the relevant committee, and a maximum of 10 minutes for any other member speaking except the leader of the majority party and the leader of the minority party, who shall be limited to a maximum of 15 minutes each if the bill is not sponsored by either of them, and that priority in speaking be accorded to the leader of the majority party, the leader of the minority party, and the chairperson of the relevant departmental committee in that order. Honorable Speaker, I request the Chief Whip, the Honorable Sylvanus Mayengo Osoro, to second.
Honorable Osoro.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I first want to correct the Honorable Owen Baya that I'm not called Majengo.
You are called?
I am not. He referred me as Majengo Osoro, and I'm telling him it's not Majengo, it's Onyego. My surname is actually Onyego and not Majengo, as he's put it. But Honorable Speaker, ideally what the Deputy Majority Leader has said and has moved is largely the tradition in this House as far as motions and bills are concerned, that you need to give the mover of the bill adequate time to explain himself or herself, and that is 45 minutes like he's well put it, and also give preference on the leadership of the House, of course, to be able to also air their views as the leader of the minority and the leader of majority. So for that reason, Honorable Speaker, I beg to second. Thank you very much.
Honorable members, I now propose the question that pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 97.1, this House orders that each speech in the debate on the bill sponsored by a committee and the leader of majority or the leader of minority be limited as follows. A maximum of 45 minutes for the mover in moving and 15 minutes in replying. A maximum of 30 minutes for the chairperson of the relevant committee if the bill is not sponsored by the relevant committee, and a maximum of 10 minutes for any other member speaking except the leader of majority party and the leader of minority party, who shall be limited to a maximum of 15 minutes each if the bill is not sponsored by either of them, and that priority in speaking be accorded to the leader of majority and the leader of minority and the chairperson of the relevant committee in that order. Okay, the mood of the House is to put the question. Honorable members, I now put the question that pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 97.1, this House orders that each speech in the debate on the bill sponsored by the committee, the leader of the majority party or the leader of the minority party be limited as follows. A maximum of 45 minutes for the mover in moving and 15 minutes in replying. A maximum of 30 minutes for the chairperson of the relevant committee if the bill is not sponsored by the relevant committee. And a maximum of 10 minutes for any other member speaking except the leader of majority party and the leader of minority party, who shall be limited to a maximum of 15 minutes each if the bill is not sponsored by either of them. And that the priority in speaking be accorded to the leader of majority, the leader of minority, and the chairperson of the relevant departmental committee in that order. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Next order.
Order number 9, procedural motion, limitation of debate on individual members' bills.
Majority Leader, proceed. Give him the mic.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I wish the members that are leaving would stay because this is very important for them. I beg to move the procedural motion, limitation on debate on individual members' bills. That pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 90.
Majority Whip, I think you can whip the members to come back in, because we need them. It's a very important motion.
Yes, this is a very important procedural motion for members.
You're failing on your job.
Because we actually limit their time at this level. That pursuant to the provision of Standing Order 97.1, this House orders that each speech in a debate on bills not sponsored by a committee, the leader of the majority party or the leader of the minority party, be limited as follows. A maximum of 3 hours and 30 minutes with not more than 30 minutes for the mover in moving and 10 minutes in replying. A maximum of 30 minutes for the chairpersons of the relevant committee and a maximum of 10 minutes for any other member speaking except the leader of the majority party and the leader of the minority party, who shall be limited to a maximum of 15 minutes each, and that priority in speaking be accorded to the leader of the majority party and the leader of the minority party and the chairperson of the relevant departmental committee in that order. Honorable Speaker, I request the honorable member for Nandi, MP for Nandi, the Honorable Muge, to actually second this motion.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I rise to second the motion on the limitation of debate on individual members' bills. Of course, Honorable Speaker, since it came to the order paper, I have been keen enough to ask the Deputy Majority Leader why the huge difference between those sponsored by government and the individual motions and bills, Honorable Speaker. And Honorable Speaker, I must say that this is where efficiency in terms of use of time will be measured, especially on the bills that are sponsored by members. And Honorable Speaker, I want to say that I support this because this will actually ensure that the short period of time that is given for the prosecution of private members' bills is utilized and is shared equally so that we can be able to move more motions and more bills that are sponsored by private members. I must say, Honorable Speaker, this is a very progressive provision, and 3 hours, Honorable Speaker, quite frankly speaking, is adequate for someone who has actually known what they want to move, the intention, and actually put their thoughts together so they can be able to move this motion. Honorable Speaker, it is also very interesting, and I have seen the ultimate importance of the leadership of the House. Honorable Speaker, that the majority and the minority and the committee chair still get a lot of more time than anyone else, even in a private member's sponsored bill. And Honorable Speaker, I must say that when I grow older, I must make sure that I am also a leader of majority or a committee chair so that I can be able to enjoy the ultimate importance of those particular positions. I support this motion, Honorable Speaker, and I ask the honorable members to be able to support it so that we can be able to have adequate time to share the little time that is available for us to move private members' bills in this House. I support, Honorable Speaker. I second.
Honorable members, I now propose the question that pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 97.1, this House orders that each speech in the debate on bills not sponsored by a committee, the leader of majority or the leader of minority, be limited as follows. A maximum of 3 hours and 30 minutes, with not more than 30 minutes for the mover in moving and 10 minutes in replying, and a maximum of 30 minutes for the chairperson of the relevant committee and a maximum of 10 minutes for any other member speaking, except the leader of majority party, the leader of minority party, who shall be limited to a maximum of 15 minutes each, and that the priority of speaking be accorded to the leader of majority party, leader of minority party, and the chairperson of the relevant departmental committee in that order. Honorable members, I now put the question that pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 97.1, this House orders that each speech in the debate on bills not sponsored by the committee, the leader of majority party or the leader of minority party be limited as follows. A maximum of 3 hours and 30 minutes, with not more than 30 minutes for the mover in moving and 10 minutes in replying. A maximum of 30 minutes for the chairperson of the relevant committee and a maximum of 10 minutes for any other member speaking, except the leader of majority and the leader of minority party, who shall be limited to a maximum of 15 minutes each, and that the priority in speaking be accorded to the leader of majority party and the leader of minority party and the chairperson of the relevant departmental committee in that order. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Next order.
Order number 10, procedural motion, limitation of debate on motions.
I think we are going to ask the ICT team to give you your card, to give you a new card.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to move the procedural motion, limitation of debate on motions. That pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 97-1, this House orders that each speech in a debate on any motion, including a special motion, be limited in the following manner. A maximum of 3 hours with not more than 20 minutes for the mover and 10 minutes for any other member speaking except the leader of the majority party and the leader of the minority party, who shall be limited to a maximum of 15 minutes each, and that 10 minutes, therefore, before the expiry of the time, the mover shall be called upon to reply, and that priority in speaking be accorded to the leader of the majority party, the leader of the minority party, and the chairpersons of the relevant departmental committee in that order. Honorable Speaker, this motion, when does it limits time for debates, that when you are contributing, you have 10 minutes, which sometimes the mood of the House says 3 minutes and all that, but we give 10 minutes to members to contribute. I'd like to ask my friend Clive to second.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. While I second this motion, Honorable Speaker, I would also like to request that while at it, that the leadership gets sufficient time to explain the motion and give guidance to this House. Sometimes we've seen that it's not necessary for the leadership to utilize the entire 15 minutes, where they go around giving issues that are outside the context of the motion. We'll also request that the leadership are limited to stick within the content of the motion so that enough time is allocated to the other members rather than them utilizing their full time, and then the other members have to be asked to reduce their time to 5 or 3 minutes. But with that, Honorable Speaker, I second.
Honorable members, I now propose the question that pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 97-1, this House orders that each speech in the debate on any motion, including a special motion, be limited in the following manner. A maximum of 3 hours with not more than 20 minutes for the mover and 10 minutes for any other member speaking except the leader of majority and the leader of minority, who shall be limited to a maximum of 15 minutes each, and at 10 minutes after the expiry of the time, the mover shall be called upon to reply, and that the priority in speaking be accorded to the leader of majority party, the leader of minority party, and the chairperson of the relevant committee in that order. I'll let you sit. Honorable members, I now put the question that pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 97, this House orders that each speech in the debate on any motion, including a special motion, be limited in the following manner. A maximum of 3 hours with not more than 20 minutes for the mover and 10 minutes for any other member speaking except the leader of majority and the leader of minority party, who shall be limited to a maximum of 15 minutes each, and 10 minutes before the expiry of the time, the mover shall be called upon to reply, and that the priority in speaking be accorded to the leader of majority party, the leader of minority party, and the chairperson of the relevant departmental committee in that order. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Order number 11, procedural motion, limitation of debate on reports of audit committees.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move the procedural motion on limitation of debate on reports of audit committees. That pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 97-1, this House orders that each speech in debate on reports of audit committees be limited as follows. A maximum of 60 minutes for the mover in moving and 30 minutes in replying, and a maximum of 10 minutes for any other member speaking except the leader of the majority party and the leader of the minority party, who shall be limited to a maximum of 15 minutes each, and the priority be accorded to the leader of the majority party and the leader of the minority party in that order. Honorable Speaker, I will request the Honorable Jamatia to second.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I want to second the motion. Thank you.
Honorable members, I now propose the question that pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 97-1, this House orders that each speech in the debate on reports of audit committees be limited as follows. A maximum of 60 minutes for the mover in moving and 30 minutes in replying, and a maximum of 10 minutes for any other member speaking except the leader of majority party and the leader of minority party, who shall be limited to a maximum of 15 minutes each, and that priority be accorded to the leader of majority party and the leader of minority party in that order. Okay, let me allow I'll allow Honorable Kainan for a minute.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, audit committees play a very important role in safeguarding the public interest. I want to request the House Business Committee to fast-track all the pending reports of the audit committees, because that's the only way we can assess whether the public gets value for money. This should not be treated just like any other report, because what it means, these entities are audited by the Office of the Auditor General. Parliament is supposed to act now as a neutral arbiter and provide an avenue for the audited agencies and the auditor to explain the same so that the public also gets to understand this. So my plea is, and I'm sure my friend Kimani Chunga is also hearing this, let's fast track this, because, and let them be given proper attention so that the taxpayers outside there, whatever that has been appropriated, how they have been used, can be seen in the audit report. And I'm sure I also want to request the committee chairs and the committee members to take this serious, because outside there, there's a lot of... Madam Speaker, you know today, outside there, the public perception about Parliament, the public perception about the incidence of corruption is so high. We need to change this so that the Kenyan public outside there are familiar with the role played by the Office of the Auditor General, with the role played by the audit committees, with the role played by Parliament, and ultimately accept that Parliament is there for their well-being. I support the motion.
Speaker, thank you for this moment. I just want to draw to the attention of my colleagues and the country as a whole that in respect to the new Constitution of Kenya 2010, it is required that audit reports are prosecuted, are analyzed, prosecuted, moved and approved otherwise by this National Assembly within 6 months from the end of the financial year or after tabling the same. There's a recent court case, Honorable Speaker, regarding the Nairobi County Assembly, where the court has invalidated the findings of the audit committee reports that were passed way outside the timelines provided for under the Constitution. So I just want to urge members who are here that it's important that every single time as we prosecute these reports, we must put in mind the provision of the Constitution, otherwise the work of the National Assembly and the various county assemblies will be an exercise in futility and will just all vanity and waste of public resources. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable members, I now put the question that pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 97-1, This House orders that each speech in the debate of reports of audit committees be limited as follows: a maximum of 60 minutes for the mover in moving and 30 minutes in replying, and a maximum of 10 minutes for any other member speaking except the leader of majority party and the leader of minority party, who shall be limited to a maximum of 15 minutes each, and that the priority be accorded to the leader of majority party and the leader of minority party in that order. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Next order.
Order number 12, procedural motion, limitation of debate on other committee reports.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move the procedural motion, limitation of debate on other committee reports. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provision of Standing Order 97.1, this House orders that each speech in a debate on other committee reports, including a report of a joint committee of the Houses of Parliament, or any other report submitted to the House for which limitation of time has not been specified, be limited as follows: a maximum of 2.5 hours with no more than 20 minutes for the mover in moving and 5 minutes for any other member speaking, including the leader of the majority party and the leader of the minority party and the chairperson of the relevant committee, and that 10 minutes before the expiry of the time, the mover shall be called upon to reply, and further, the priority in speaking shall be accorded to the leader of the majority party and the leader of the minority party in that order. Honorable Speaker, I request the Honorable Ngusia, CNN, to second.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Without wasting a lot of time, because it's a procedural motion, I second.
Honorable members, I now propose the question that pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 97.1, this House orders that each speech in a debate on other committee reports, including the report of the joint committees of the Houses of Parliament or any other report submitted to the House for which limitation of time has not been specified, be limited as follows: a maximum of 2.5 hours with not more than 20 minutes for the mover in moving and 5 minutes for any other member speaking, including the leader of majority party and the leader of minority party, and the chairperson of the relevant committee, if the committee report is not moved by the chairperson of the relevant committee, and that 10 minutes before the expiry of time, the mover shall be called upon to reply, and further, that priority in speaking shall be given and accorded to the leader of majority party and the leader of minority party in that order. Honorable members, I now put the question that pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 97.1, this House orders that each speech in a debate on other committee reports, including a report of a joint committee of the Houses of Parliament, or any other report submitted to the House for which limitation of time has not been specified, shall be limited as follows: a maximum of 2.5 hours with not more than 20 minutes for the mover in moving and 5 minutes for any other member in speaking, including the leader of majority party and the leader of minority party and the chairperson of the relevant committee, if the committee report is not moved by the chairperson of the relevant committee. And that 10 minutes before the expiry of time, the mover shall be called upon to reply, and further, that priority in speaking shall be accorded to the leader of majority party and the leader of minority party in that order. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Next order.
Order number 13, procedural motion, limitation of debate on the address by the President.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to move the procedural motion, limitation of debate on the address by His Excellency the President. Honorable Speaker, that noting that Standing Order 24.6 provides that debate on a motion on the address by the President shall be limited to not more than 4 sitting days, and pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 97.1, This House orders that debate on a motion on the address by His Excellency the President under Article 132(1)(a) of the Constitution be limited as follows. A maximum of 30 minutes for the mover in moving, 20 minutes for the leader of the minority party, and 10 minutes each to the chairpersons of the Departmental Committee on Justice and Legal Affairs to speak on the report submitted under Article 132(1)(c)(1) of the Constitution relating to the realization of the national values. The chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Defense, Intelligence, and Foreign Relations to speak on the report submitted under Article 132(1)(c)(3) of the Constitution relating to the progress made in fulfilling the international obligations of the Republic. And the chairpersons of the Departmental Committee on Administration and Internal Security to speak on the report submitted under Article 247 of the Constitution relating to the state of the security of the country. And 5 minutes for any other member speaking, and that 10 minutes before the expiry of the time, the mover shall be called upon to reply. Honorable Speaker, I would like to request the Honorable Mwengi Mutuse, the MP for Kibwezi, to second.
Before you second, allow me to recognize the students before they leave. I wish to recognize the presence of St. Patrick's Hill School from Kajiado West Constituency, Kajiado County, who are seated in the public gallery. I also wish to recognize Mary Hill Girls School from Thika West Constituency, Kiambu County, who are seated in the public gallery. On behalf of the members of the National Assembly, we wish you pleasant proceedings. Thank you.
Madam Speaker, I second.
Honorable members, I now propose the question that noting that the Standing Order 24(6) provides that the debate on the motion of the address of the President shall be limited to not more than 4 sitting days, and pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 97(1), this House orders that the debate on the motion of the address of His Excellency the President under Article 132(1)(a) of the Constitution be limited as follows. A maximum of 30 minutes for the mover in moving, 20 minutes for the leader of minority party, and 10 minutes each to the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Justice and Legal Affairs to speak on the report submitted under Article 132(1)(c)(1)(i).
Kuna on query Aaron anasema naona tu mtu fulani nodding her head. Ni nani yule?
Nani? Wapi?
I don't get.
You sure?
Yeah?
You sure?
Yes.
You sure?
Ama ni Felix. Felix
mimi naona uko fiti. Uko sawa mama. Zulfa.
Yes.
You have been listening as I have been listening, and truly as you see now, they are trying to come up with the ideas according to what they are doing. Yes. I really appreciate their work, but they really need to show how committed they are to public work. What we need is servants, civil servants who are seriously with their work. Public servants, in fact, not civil servants. Public servants. You are not leaders. We elected you to be in that position you are for you to work for us. Yeah. Yes. So Zulfa, what can you say?
Okay. So what I have to say is a lot because wameongea a lot, but bona producer ananiambia that muda umeisha. If you could retable this na tukuje kuongelea kwenye show nyingine. Sawa? So I will talk a lot. I will tell you what I think because nikiweza kuongea I'll talk for 30 minutes. And time pale kidogo imeshatupita muda, sawa?
Yes.
So if you allow me, wacha ikifika saa 11 turegele tuendelee kuongea because I know they will still be here and we shall continue with the entire discussion.
Yes, okay? Yes. So Anita,
Yes.
what will you maybe tell the people as we wait the next show?
Keep it locked. Sende mbali. To go up after the break. Just break ya kwenda tu kukunywa maji alafu turudi. So stay connected and tuned. We are coming with more. Juu ni mengi sana imeongelelewa pale. Coming with more. Mapocho.
Narejeshi hapo.
Bado haijaisha.
Inaendelea nayo.
Bado inaendelea. Kwa hivyo jitayarishe, next itakuwa imewaka, tunaenda kuipimp. Inakuja yani ina glow.
Yani guys, you can see Anita vile anajaribu kurembesha language yake. You can see Zulfa is doing a good job. Anyway, Zulfa, congratulations. I can see you are trying to do a good job. Yes? Yeah, mentoring a very beautiful and young girl like this one. It really gives me it really gives me morale. Yeah, it really gives me morale. So Zulfa, I think nilipata mtu nataka the next show akiconfirm then tutamalizia.
Wewe.
Yes. I'm talking about somebody mwenye anaenda kukuja na zile vitu nilisema. Yes. So
we. Have you ever seen those Nigerian movies ambazo mtu mwagiliwa maji?
I'm sorry.
Those are the kind of things you're gonna get.
So guys, tufanye nini?
Tupatane saa 11. Sema majina Anita, Felix sema jina, nitasema jina yangu pia, then we finish.
Naitwa Anita Mtindi. I love the show and I will always love the show. Tupatane in the next hour. Sende mbali. Thank you.